남도 주름 서저 서신된 된전 방면을 랭귀지 시라니 되는 적은 도저도는 돌아 전체로 로간지지 소요 빠진을 상보제베 주지 인근담 여엽도 주장계에서 나의 생계 지면로 저 제간서베 민도던 베스 젬니알람제 로르 드만자 대chen 구신도 들지 영재라마 저브라자라 and 저 군도yan다 마마다 라메 주제 팔라 롱규제 소다 람제 연대라선 도제 장게 공방요도 슈마 please listen through generating your mind towards the bodhicitta. So uh, we shall continue from yesterday. Therefore, you will never obtain a precious human body like this again. Do not dare to waste it. If you were born in an animal body, forget about attaining enlightenment. You will not be capable of reciting even a single money. So in here, this is an advice to be aware of the present kind of circumstances. And if we not take a good advantage from this human form, likewise, yesterday I mentioned that if we, through those misusage of our action, which build up a habit, and slowly, due to mainly by ignorance, we may can take a different form from what we are having right now. And then, so once we take a different form already, then it is very hard to achieve the same form again and again. And so we should not be very much kind of distracted on this opportunity. And if we say we took a different form, let's say an animal, or even just as it mentioned that in a single money, which means the mantra of the generosity is very, difficult to chant, as how we human do. And it same goes to any kind of being. So those we have to understand that the Shakyamuni, the historical Buddha, what he have taught, the form of the Dharma, mainly it is taught for the human being. And the examples which he have given are really relatable because he have come in a form of human. So every action, every teaching what he have given are very much relatable. And it same goes to Milarepa. And in that way, so all the teaching what Buddha have taught, it is very much suitable for the human being. In that way, it is very difficult to relate those examples and have the same expression to follow the path are quite different if we obtain a different kind of form. Anyhow, this is what it means. And if we go continue, additionally, you would automatically accumulate many causes of being reborn in the lower realms. So, yeah. So once we have taken a different form, for example, let's say animal or how creature or what kind of non-human realm you can name. So when we have already took their lifestyle and we will continue to move forward in their kind of a habit or kind of way. So it is very difficult to come back in in our way, in our human way. So in that way, we have to understand that. So once we have obtained a different form, then to take a birth in a human, so there is need an effort. Without an effort, so it will be very much difficult. So I do kind of believe that the most kind of close to a humankind kind of animal are the dogs. And there is a saying that the dogs kind of realm are very much near to take birth in a human form, because not all in general, but particular who are close to a human. And so they are very much relatable and close to the human. So some of the most of the dog realms, I do believe they can, compared to other animals, they take more easier, but in a human realm. So anyway, as we continue, because of this body, we are able to achieve even perfect Buddhahood. So it has great purpose. Yet till now, we have surrendered it without much point. Worldly people are able to work so hard at farming and so forth in the short term with their eye on the long term, but we cannot muster even an ounce of endurance or fortitude when it comes to working for what we have wished for in every lifetime. So this is an inspiration to us. All the past Buddha and Bodhisattva have achieved the result of being enlightened. And in that way, we can see the possibility by their path. In the same way, in this worldly kind of world, there are many kind of people, some who dedicate their life on the external kind of work, like the houses, the environment, and so on. And there are some people who dedicate their life on internal kind of mental health kind of work, such as meditation and compassion and loving kindness and so on. And so forth. There are many kind of being dedicate their whole time, effort, whether it is long term or short term. They spend their whole kind of time and effort. It might be worth of working for them because some kind of satisfaction they might get from that specific kind of a work. But from a Buddhist point of view, we kind of extend our view on the basis of impermanence, death, birth, aging, and everything. So in the view from a Buddhist perspective, we look for the very long term. We expand not only in focusing in this life, but more on the further as the next life and furthermore. So in the future of lifetimes. So in that way, of course, the farming kind of a work, or of course it is needed to survive, to take food and the clothing and so on. But that is not a full satisfaction for the lifetime. So the mentality, awareness is the answer for the long term. And that way, so here, basically we are getting inspired or advised to focus more on the mindfulness and awareness of the wisdom. And that is very much important because sooner or later, when things are created, it eventually will be, how to say, the jigba. So is there?
It will be destroyed.
So, so in that way, it is somehow pointless when we look for the very furthermore long term. As it is like, like even from a Buddhist perspective, we have to it's from a Buddhist perspective, it is like we accepting that let's say I will going to die tomorrow for sure, no matter what. And even though today tons of meal I eat, of tons of job, through the job I earn many money, or whatever kind of precious gold and jewelry or whatever I receive. But that is only for a moment when I am living. And it has nothing to do furthermore when I, separated from my body. And so at that moment, my name is already gone, already left with the body, name, wealth, everything. So now here, me being a very like a self-surrendered, completely not wearing the materialistic uh, possession. So in that way, every kind of the farming work and everything, it shows a very short term, only relating with the person body. It is connected with the body. So furthermore, for the long term, mostly our mental is carried on. So in that way, we have to, in the Buddhist perspective, we think in that way. So what is the matter most are the wisdom and nurturing our the mind. So in here we are inspired to continue more towards the mental continuation. So as we continue, we are rotten in the core of fickle and fooled by the maras. Meditate on this again and again, thinking from this day onwards, there is no way I want to put all my energy into practicing the true Dharma to make this life meaningful. So, so here basically it shows that the life should be meaningful. So, in what term, in what way, the life becomes meaningful? Yeah. So in here, it mentioned by practicing the true Dharma makes the life meaningful. So the how. So we have to really understand. In general, I think all the philosopher become philosopher by thinking about life. And so if there is no life, I think there won't be much as philosopher. And all the philosophers somehow have gone through some experience of pain in their life. So then they started to question about what is the meaning of life when they lose some kind of possession. For example, Buddha himself tried to find what is meaning of life after seeing the crops when he went outside of the palace with the Channa, which is a person who leads the Shindakolo
horse carriage.
horse carriage. So when Buddha asked Channa, the person whose horse carriage, like a driver, and he said, "This is crop." And what is meaning of crop? People passes away, and they leave their body separately. And then he questioned, "It only happens to them, or what?" So he started to say, "This happens to everyone. You and your father, and so on." So that made Buddha more worry that this is the fact will happen to everyone. So that made him think about what is the meaning of life. In the same way, for example, Milarepa, the great yogi ever existed in our Tibet during his time. He have, done many black magic and killed many humans and also many animals as well. And then he understood he had made a very big sin. And somehow he managed to do Dharma, and so forth. He went to seek many masters as well. And somehow he was not satisfied on the practice itself. And then slowly, with the karmic connection, he met Marpa. And the teaching what he have given, and when he practiced, somehow in the end, he got the full satisfaction or the salvation of what the meaning of being a meaningful life. And it same goes to Gambopa. Although in his earlier life, he had a wife and I believe 2 daughters. And so he was a nurse, as a doctor, and he have lived a human life as a worldly life as well. And he have gone through many experience from his wife who was sick, and later on he practiced the Dharma, but somehow when he heard the name of Milarepa, after meeting him, the true salvation he understood by the introduction. So whatever it is, so what is meaning by saying what is meaningful? So the Dharma is nothing more than a just kind of a introduction, one could say. But also Dharma can come in a many different forms as well. From the outer appearance, it can come in the form of rules and regulation, as the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Paths, and so on. Also can come in the form of vow. And it can also come in the form of, let's say, action, not killing, not stealing, and so forth, from body, speech, and mind. But being meaningful, it doesn't answer to everything. But when it comes to meaningful, is meaning that from self, all the salvation is there. You have achieved. And you are fully satisfied by the salvation. And then you are not seeking for purpose of your own self. And because you already answer your own question, you are already, in the possession. You are already an answer for your own self. In a way, in a many ways, mentality, whether it's from the worldly life or beyond that, spiritually, you are fully satisfied from the question of who I really am and what I'm really seeking for, and so on, that what actually I need in a very long term. So when we have all this answer and the salvation and the instruction, and also by meditating on that, we become the answer to our question. Then, in a way, our life becomes meaningful. And then, so we can, by sharing or by that for other, it will be also very much meaningful. But in the first thing that we should be meaningful to our own self rather than being to other. So this will come later when we go after a few chapters. And so now we will continue. Generally, we have not completed an action. It is called unfinished business due to unfinished business from our past life, Dharma practices. In this life as well, we will have faith in the Dharma and Guru we are used to, and we will train under them. This is the thing of the awakening of positive karma. So basically, we say it mentioned that it says that in this life, especially right now, we are somehow we are in a position where I can receive the teachings from a teacher, from a Buddhist teacher, and somehow I can able to practice the Dharma. Somehow I have taken refuge. Somehow I have entered the gate of the Dharma. It is not coming from out of nowhere. It always comes from the cause and condition. So in that way, what it really means that in our past life, in our past, we did have done many aspirations to continue the Dharma, which haven't completed in our past life. And in that way, due to our past aspiration and wishes, now, right now, is a sync, like a sign that showing us this is the answer, what we have wished in our past. So that we have to remember this cause and condition is an answer to our wish, so that we should not kind of waste this opportunity. And in the same way, the faith what we having right now, and the guru or the master we are used to, and training under them. So this all coming from it's not coming from out of nowhere. It is coming from our past aspiration. It's the same like during the Rechungpa, one of the disciples of Milarepa. Although his master as Milarepa, in the very kind of first, just like the Rechungba is the disciple of Milarepa, and he was among many disciples, one of the many disciples who went to India and received tantric teachings. And so the reason one is that during the Milarepa's time, many people have have accused Milarepa in a very unlearned. He's just a yogi, but not learned. And there were many kind of
criticizing him.
criticizing him. In that way, the Rechungba didn't able to bear the criticizing to the Milarepa, so he went directly to India and to receive more further teachings and yeah, and to make Milarepa
To show or to say that he had no mistake, he was not, he was immaculate.
Mm-hmm. And in that way, Rechungba went to India and learned and received many tantric teachings as well. And when he came back to Tibet, and slowly, he started to kind of, preserve that the Milarepa teaching is the right way. And later on, somehow he was more into the teachings which he have brought from India, focusing on that. Then, actually practice. Then receiving teaching from the Milarepa himself. He was, very much studying his focus on his kind of the Quran ki ya namshebi chudila ma dona.
So when Rechungpa had gone to India, he had brought back a lot of teaching that he considered were very important. But at one point, Milarepa told him that actually it was not quite correct, or the path was. Okay, so Rechungpa tried to correct Milarepa, telling him that what he was doing was not quite correct.
And in one point, so Rechungpa very much focused on his, broad teachings rather than Milarepa's advices. And in one point, when Rechungpa went away to a different place, Milarepa took all his, translation text, whatever he has, and burned away. And then Rechungpa got very angry and upset towards his master. So later, when cause and condition happened to him. So he started to realize that no matter how much I am learned, no matter how much kind of I am, realized, it is all due to the blessing of Milarepa. It only happened to Milarepa. It is me that I was being ignorant and not seeing what is the importance, only being, taking more intention towards the scripture rather than the fact, the advices of the life. Then he, he started to realize that the life in him, during his lifetime, Milarepa was the main kind of karmic guru who have shown shown the true meaning of life, and that way. So then he did, 샤관왕 지주멜라기 지수양자 주버리.
So he confessed that he had been wrong, and he took refuge again in Milarepa.
So in that way, so sometimes we don't know the path just in front of us is the karmic path, is the karmic guru. But due to circumstances of the environment, we get more distracted and think that those are the main purpose. And then when things end, we started to regret that those person which we have ignored, which we have, ignored the guru on the lineages and so on, is the main kind of karmic that I haven't accepted. So so in that way, not to come in that kind of a situation. From now, we have to, remember that the master, the path, what kind of we have taken is our karmic answer. So we will continue general. So however, becoming habituated to wrongdoing now only creates unfinished business for the lower realms in the next lifetime. We will not attain our human body again. So the Kirishtikarbha Sutra states there are 10 kind of individual in samsara who are unlikely to be reborn in a human form. Who are they? They are those who have not generated to the root of virtue, who do not accumulate merit, who are influenced by negative friends, whose inflection continuously propagate themselves, who are not afraid of the suffering of future lives, whose mind are agitated by the afflicted, who constantly forget Dharma because of the laziness and distraction, who embrace the Buddha's teaching but do not follow them, who follow wrong views and who cling to wrong views tightly. Be careful of those. So I think this is the same as we went to very beginning. So here I will not be explaining on this because we already have gone through this. And now we will continue furthermore. You should not think that just because you have such meaningful human body, you are great, you are learned, you are of high class, or you are venerable, and then the little others, it is not appropriate to disparage even a tiny insect. Because all beings have Buddha nature. So this is kind of advice that that we are not taking advantage of human form to harm other beings, and we should not I don't think that as we being human, we thinking about we are human, we are, and then harming others or criticizing or so on. But instead of it, we do, beside the confidence of being human, but more on, uh, thinking ourselves very high and seeing other as very lower class and somehow bullying who are very much to a humble being. And so this are very much, we might create kind of action towards them. And so we should not take those advantage. And instead, so one is that all the sentient beings have the Buddha nature. In here, why the Buddha nature is mentioned is that in Buddhists, we give a full respect towards the Buddha. And when the Buddha nature, the nature of Buddha, which we have huge respect, presence in everyone, somehow we have started to be more respectful for human beings. So it actually depends to individual people how they perceive. So it is not very much necessary just to mention that all sentient beings have Buddha nature, so that's why you have to respect. Not only for the Buddha nature reason, but we can apply in many good reasons as well. So in here, all those who will be reading or who are, studying under this are Buddhists mainly. So all of the followers who are following this has huge respect towards the Buddha nature as well. So in that way, the advantage of saying Buddha nature is a huge impact. So we should have to understand the reasoning why it is mentioned. It is said that disparaging other repents in this life as losing what you have valued, and in the next as repent as hungry ghosts. Even if you are born human, you will be slave. Furthermore, okay, so actually this is very much we will just continue as clear. Furthermore, ordinary beings lack of clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance.
And those never know where or in what manner noble beings or bodhisattva might appear, or how they might act to benefit beings. Therefore, never judge others. So, yeah, it's basically saying we should not criticize and disparaging them somehow by disrespecting or disparaging by this action, we might can, blocking the karmic connection to be liberated to some sentient being. So therefore, it is this is not good thing. So it is kind of advice. And it is thought that disparaging a bodhisattva results in enduring the misery of hell for many eons. Thus, you must never go too far, even as a joke or as a tease. So this is yeah. So from here we continue. Individuals with human bodies may have greater or lesser faith, and there are stronger and weaker remedies. Those whose intelligence is limited, who are easily influenced by companions, and who are frightened by profound words of meaning, are the gradual type of individuals. They should remain close to the skillful guru and train in the path in stages, gathering the true accumulation and union, and not to be introduced to the view and meditation too early. So in here, this is a different kind of a topic. So it shows there are two different type of disciple or person who practice the Buddha Dharma. So in Tibetan we call it Rimjewa Chikcharwa.
The one who go progressively, or the ones that have who have instantaneous result.
So this will also come during the Mahamudra introduction time, and also now it also mentioning, and so that we have to know that whether which kind of individual we are in. So it mentions that those who have less intelligence and the person who can easily turn their mind, and the teachings are very much the profound teachings are very much kind of frightening for the individual person. So in that way, we have to be aware whether this qualities we are in or not. And so in here is also mentioned that that for to those like individual person who are lacking of wisdom, lacking of intelligence, lacking of all to receive the profound teaching, those should be very much go through, or let's say, should be close to the guru and always guide them on their path. And so the process should be gone. And also, it is clearly mentioned that not to be introduced to the view and meditation early. So in our society, we face this problem many times. Let's say yesterday that person took refuge. Today he is practicing Mahamudra. And like Dzogchen and Lojong, without going to the proper kind of mind training itself, but just skipping the profound basic kind of mind training, and then just straightly go into the meditation. So it is not that it should not be done, because in some individual, by going through these stages, might be kind of a result of like a benefit for them. But in general, it is not the way how a person should go through the process. So if there's a lacking of the mind training and straightly going to the let's say shamatha or vipassana, any kind of meditation, let's say kind of practices, then the person will not know the importance of where to be focused on. And so let's say when we go through the 4 common mind training, somehow by the basis of impermanence experience, we know where to be more focused, and according to that, we know what is more beneficial to focus, not where not to focus. If we don't know the differences and still, being attached without the glimpse of having the experience of impermanence, precious human life, or renunciation properly, then whether it is refuge, whether it's mandala, whether it is, Guru Yoga, it's just a different experiencing. It won't be the proper experience. And the whether it is shamatha or vipassana, the focuses will be totally kind of unknown. So therefore, it is very important that we have to go through the mind training. This is the very kind of the foundation of everything. So in that way, it is always says that Kongtrul are the more important than the actual practice of Mahamudra. So we continue. The instantaneous type of individuals have sharper intelligence, greater compassion, faith and walking, and little fixation or attachment. They think only of Dharma and feel a special joy for the profound words and meaning. They need not be taught the path of various means of visualizations, but can be immediately given an introduction to the meaning. I offer this an aside. So, so it is also mentioned that they not need to be taught the path of various means and visualization. So the visualization is the part of mind training itself. So we have many different kind of visualization. So the purpose of the visualization is to, train our mind more flexible to engage with the profound, let's say, selfless practices. So when a person is not kind of, ready to practice those, and then so it will be very much non-beneficial to practice the Mahamudra and what so on. So we will stop here. Yedian rowa malian doji santa de tashi juve chime chen nange lamnian doji rowa ye sanche ni je kong bang zo che kewa di nyo to ta cha cha chimbo drup chunen rowa chi cha ma le de sa la go ma sho sanche ku son ni be chen la ta chun ni min ju den be chen la gen de me che dun be chen la che che dar ngo wa me sho. So we finished the chapter of precious human life, and next weekend we will start with the impermanence, and till then you can practice on the precious human life. So okay, thank you.